Hello and welcome to Merciful Love. My name is Mercy. I wanted to share about attachment. What I understand by attachment is holding on to something and wanting to control it and hoping that things work the way they want. And this has caused pain and suffering to a lot of people, including myself, before I realized what it was doing for me or to me. Because you can be attached to ideas. For example, I would be attached to how life should go. If I am doing good things, then good things should happen to me. But we all know that doesn't work like that. And when you're attached to an idea and things don't work the way they're supposed to work, then you get frustrated, you start suffering because of that. Sometimes you might get attached to material things. That's what they call, what do they call it? They call sentimental. It is sentimental to me. They're attached to something because that thing reminds them of an event or someone. And when you try to take that thing away from them, it causes suffering. We are also attached to people, our spouses, our kids, our family members. And when they leave, especially when they leave, it causes a lot of pain and suffering to us. And the solution is just to be detached, and it's not as easy as it sounds. Letting go, not wanting to control anything. You can also be attached to feelings because you're so used to feeling a certain way, and when you feel a certain way, you are able to manipulate people in a certain way. And when people figure out about your manipulation and then they do not respond to you the way you want them to respond, then it creates suffering. So when I realized that attachment was causing me suffering and pain, I decided to work on it. I decided now to not be attached to anything, to detach. And I did. I believed I did, because I stopped being attached. First of all, I stopped being attached to people because people hurt people, and that's where I started. I detached from some family, from relatives. I detached from friends. I detached basically from everyone, and I just dealt with people on a one-on-one basis, present basis. How are we doing now? And once we depart or we part ways, that's it. Like, I don't think about it so much after that. And I didn't have any expectations. I stopped having any expectations from people. And it made life easier. So because when you do not have any expectations, then you're not hurt. When people do right with you, you're pleasantly surprised. And that really helped me. So I stopped getting people never stopped getting to me, annoying me or anything. And I didn't have awkward situations. Like, if I didn't just like your vibe, I'll just stay away and step away from you or that situation. And life was easier. I was happier. No more drama, less drama, more happy, more peace. And life was good. And then I stopped being attached to my idea of how my life should be. I wanted to be this news anchor. I went to school. I struggled with school because I wanted to achieve this dream, and nobody was going to come between me and my dream. I was now focusing on only one thing. And I remember I was so focused on that dream of being, a broadcast journalist or something, or a news anchor. that I even stopped. I couldn't apply for any other job. I was just focused on, yes, I would try to do other jobs, but I wouldn't give my all because I was focused on what I wanted to be. I felt like I was being taken away from my goal. Like every other thing was a distraction to me. And you know, it was painful. It was painful when I could not achieve these goals. And the day I let go, I detached from that idea that I should be this. I started doing other things that were so much fun and that led me to meet such amazing people and that has created amazing relationships. And they've changed my life because after that, after I started my spiritual journey in 2018 when I joined the Buddhist path that time. That's when I learned about attachment and detachment. And during that time, that's when I started now growing the microgreens. And then I stopped growing. After I stopped growing microgreens, I was selling car items. I was doing books, and I've met amazing people. I've made relationships that have changed my life in an amazing manner. That all these things have made me progress to a happier person compared to the bitter person that I was, that was stuck on this idea that I had struggled to achieve. And I've done a lot of things, a lot of interesting things. And at the end of the day, even doing this right now, it is also like part of the journey because I've met people who have encouraged me, have helped me, have offered resources to do this. And I stopped being bitter and angry, because I was also angry. I was angry at the universe. I was angry at God. Like, why are you not giving me this thing? It's simple. You can do it. And, the prayers that I used to pray, I've mentioned it before. I used to pray so much, like, please God, fasting, novenas, like I wanted it so much. I wanted it so much. I really wanted to be an anchor, but right now, once I became an entrepreneur, you really do not want to go back to employment. And I'm happier because I am able to do more now compared to if I was, in that situation. I'd rather do what I'm doing now than be what I wanted to be at that time. I'm happier now compared to, I don't think I would have been, when I've come to know myself, I don't think I would have been happy. I'm happier now. And I'm able to do so much more because I have so much, I do a lot. But you see, when you're employed and you have to put in all those hours at work, it's a little bit tough. But when you are self-employed, I'm able now to organize my time and do a lot of different things, most of which I enjoy. And so I had to let go. I had to detach from the idea of what I should be or how things should be for me to have this freedom to now do everything, a lot more things that I could do. The other things I had to detach from was my past. Because now, with my past experience, I had now this victim mentality and I had anger issues. And I had every right to be angry. I had been mistreated and all that. And carrying this burden because, carrying it as a badge, like, I've been hurt and all that. I was attached to that, which is unhealthy. And it had also almost become a part of my identity. Because I was always sad, and I was always angry, I was always melancholic, I was just not a happy human being. And I had taken that as now who I was, and I felt justified to live like that. But I even had ideologies, like I would say, like, I'll never get married, I'll never get kids, I'll never, all those things, because I was attached to this pain. I was attached to my thoughts that every human being is bad. I was attached to the thought that the earth is a terrible place, that I would never want to bring another soul to this world. And the day I detached from my past, I started seeing another side of the world, another side of the earth that I didn't know. I was so attached to being the victim that I could not be able to receive kindness. I would not be able to receive good deeds done towards me. I doubted everyone. I doubted everything nice being done to me. I was not even receptive of good things. And it made my life more miserable, because I would just see everything in the negative spectrum. Everything was just, I would see everything as negative, as bad. And that made my whole life experience negative. That's why I didn't even want to be here. That's why I didn't even want to enjoy being here. Because I had taken it like this world was for suffering. And everything I could see was pain and suffering. And, it would just multiply, and it will go on and on and on. But the day I left, I detached from that victim mentality. When I started now my spiritual journey, in between, the second year, that's when, I think the second year, third year, that's when I started now working on my victim mentality and detaching from it. I started seeing things better. I started seeing the good things. I started being receptive to good things happening to me. I started seeing hope, having hope. I started enjoying being here. I started appreciating the little things. I started treating myself better, because I was no longer a victim. I was not sitting there waiting for someone to hurt me. I started speaking up. I was no longer a victim. So if someone tried to mistreat me, I would speak up. And the mistreatment or the disrespect was reduced. I started enjoying going out. I started enjoying having nice meals. Because initially I was just, trying to just survive, get through this life and die. But the day, because, that victim mentality, everyone is out to hurt me. There's nothing good here. So I was just there trying just to live life, not even live, survive. Trying to do away with it, like, when will I die? How many more years and all that. But when I detached from that victim mentality, I started speaking up more. If something or someone was not acting right, I would just call them out. I have every right to be here as you are. And even when I went to if I was receiving a service, I would demand for a good service. Because, people know the way you even carry yourself when you are in that state. People will treat you in that way. When you are timid, people will bully you. When you are fearful, people will scare you. And that was what was happening initially, until now I changed that narrative. Until now I detached from that negative vibe. Because it like covers you. Even in school, you can tell the people that bullies pick on. They are the timid ones, the ones that look weak. Because that is what you believe about yourself, and that's what you carry with yourself. But when you detach from that and then you just show up, you demand and then you'll see a change. Things always work out when you detach, when you do not try to control, when you do not try to define yourself. Just let things go. Let things go. Whatever you are fighting for, now it's not really worth it. It's not as important as you think it is. There's so much more. Just surrender everything. Let things play out the way they're supposed to do, and enjoy the moments. Or you don't even have to enjoy it, just experience them and move on. Because now when you get attached so much, that's when now frustration comes in, that's when suffering comes in, that's when regret comes in, that's when anger comes in, and we hurt ourselves in the process and hurt others also. But there's so much to life when we let go and we surrender everything, because if you really trust God, you will know that things will work out well for you. Because between you and God, who is smarter? Who is more intelligent? Who is wiser between you and God? So yeah, detachment has helped me, and maybe it might help you. Just think about it. Anyway, see you in the next episode.